So basically, what do you understand by full stack? Full stack is basically end to end operation of a project. Okay. In full stack, the major categories are front end, back end, and the database. As Nalini already works on Java, he might have an understanding of backend and database. But still, for larger audience, I will go in detail of each of them so that you understand it better. Front end is basically whatever you see on your screen. All of us have been using many social media platforms, right? Everyone must be logged into Facebook or Instagram or WhatsApp minimum, right? So, how do you think on what technologies this is built upon? Instagram you can use on the desktop and you can also use on the mobile app. How is it responsive? I means how is it fixing to the screen whichever it is being logged into, right? We sometimes use Facebook on the web, mm, laptop, and sometimes on the mobile, but there is a change in how it looks. So how do they manage that, or what technologies they write that entire thing, right? So it is basically called as front end, client side, whatever our visual eyes can see. Okay, that is front end. So there are many technologies and there are many frameworks or libraries available in the market. So why have you people chose it to be a MERN stack development? I want to show you a survey which actually shows us what is the technology or the programming language which is being widely used over the India, or you can say in the world currently. If you go to Stack Overflow survey and check technologies over there, JavaScript sits at the top. Why JavaScript? What is JavaScript? JavaScript is basically the base of any UI which you see, mostly in most cases. Okay, so this is being used across, and the percentage is 63. After that, HTML and CSS. So, don't you think we are covering both of this into our course in the month course where React under we will start with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and then we go to React. That's how we will learn React. So, we are learning the topmost programming language if you have been enrolled into MERN. That is the very first thing you have to understand, because there is a lot of confusion in the market for the graduates or who want to take a switch from their careers. There is a lot of confusion around that what should I learn, because technologies in these markets are changing. The technology which I am using now or the language I am using now won't be used after 3 to 4 years. What happens then to me as an individual, right? um, just give me one sec. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I was talking about the survey of the programming languages. So you might all have already heard that JavaScript is the core of the front end development. So we would be learning JavaScript, HTML, CSS as our base for our MERN stack development. If you have ever seen what is the programming language which has been used to build Facebook or Instagram or WhatsApp in that matter, it is React. React is actually developed by Facebook itself back in the year 2014. They developed it internally to have components as applications. But when they saw that React is working as equal to any other programming UI programming languages, they released it. And from there the React has come into, in the year 2018 actually React started taking boom in the industry. Previous to React we had Angular. Anyone of you heard about Angular? You people can answer my questions. It's not like one way conversation. We can always have, it's good to have multiple perceptions about a single topic. Okay, if you see, there is a symbol here, Angular, right? Angular is one more JavaScript framework on top of which we can build UI applications. Currently, if you ask me which would be the technology which is going to survive in the next 5 years, it would definitely be React, because Angular started back in the year 2014. Okay, and it was Angular JS at that time. Now the versions of Angular is 16 plus, and React at the same time is 18 plus. If you have to decide between these two programming frameworks or libraries, both of them are on JavaScript. If you learn one of them, you will automatically learn the other one. Only there would be minor differences between the major concepts. Just the difference between these two would be the major concepts, such as routing or the data flow, how it would be, but the base would be JavaScript. So if you're learning React in the MERN course, and if you see Angular like after the MERN course, you would see we have already learned it, but there would be minor changes. But in reality, how is it like? React is very simple to learn, the very first thing. And whoever is from IT background and have a basic knowledge of Java or any other programming language would be able to grasp JavaScript easily. Even if you do not have any knowledge of JavaScript, it is very simple to write JavaScript. It is a plain functions, I would say. But when as a developer, if I am building an application from scratch, am I going too fast? Nalini, Prasanna,
Um,
please.
no, no,
mm,
no, Sarah.
no, right? That is okay, no?
Yeah.
So whenever people feel that I'm going really fast, stop me so that I can explain you much better. In reality, if a manager comes up to you and asks you which framework or library you should choose for front end, the very first few things which developer should see is the community base. Community is basically where every React development discussion happens. So in today's market, React has a huge community base. Most of the things have already been solved. So for an example, if I'm working on a project and I get an error and I don't understand how to fix that error, if I copy paste that error into Google, into Stack Overflow is basically a medium wherein you can see already posted questions similar to your error, and there will be solutions to it. Have you I'm not sure if you people have ever seen this. This is basically Stack Overflow. See, this is my question. This can be anything. Okay, this is my question, I have posted it here, and there would be related answers here. So for React, there is a huge community base like that already. The network is huge. So the developers always choose React. But as I said, the market keeps changing because of the evolvement, right? So Next.js is something which has come into market, which is built on React itself. So it's like an upgrade, you can say, upgrade of React. This is basically used for server side components. Okay, server side components, just forget, if you don't know about it, we will talk about this later in detail. So Next.js is a new library in the market, and the demand for Next.js has grown a lot over the months. So most of the applications from React are now transitioning to Next.js. So my point of telling you about this different JavaScript frameworks or libraries is, if you learn JavaScript, if you know how to code in JavaScript, irrespective of whatever the library comes into the market, you will be good. You will be able to do front end development. Okay? Am I clear till here? Are you? good
Yeah.
about yeah. So um, let me go to Splunk is one of the apps. Just forget about what Splunk is. Look at this page. Okay, this dashboard, this login screen have a simple form wherein you are asked to enter username, password, and when you click on the login button, it will validate whether you are already a user of Splunk or not. Right? This is how it happens in Facebook or your Instagram. You first have to sign up and then you will be able to log in. Right? This is very common. Even if we are not related to technology, we have been using technologies for years now. But the thing over here you see is there are sections created. Firstly, there is a background, right? And there is a header, and there is a form, and there is some links available over here, and there are products, their product details, and a fixed footer. If you see this fixed footer, they're talking about when they started and what is the company, and there are what and about their privacy and the terms of use. See, even if I scroll, the footer is fixed. Correct? This is basically a layout of your Splunk login. So how is this built on? This is purely built on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So if you ask me now, you're talking about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. What are they? Right? HTML is basically your structure of the web page. This is a web application, right? It's a web page. Web page is basically where you have interactivity with the user. If you see, okay, okay, if you see this page wherein I want to learn about Maharana Pratap and what was his tenure, right? If you see this page, the interaction of the user is very less. There are no forms, there are no buttons, there are no links, there are minimal links, right? If they are present day Rajasthan, if I click on Rajasthan, it will take me to Rajasthan, but there are no lot of interaction. Correct? The user interactivity is very less. But if I see this login page of Splunk, there is a lot of user interactivity. The very first thing when you want to get into Splunk dashboard, you have to enter some details and you have to click on the login button. If you want to sign up, you need to click on sign up button. Right? If you want to see one of their products, you have to click on one of their links. This is called user interaction. Whatever you can see, so how did I put this background at the as a background? How is the image as a background of this page? What is that? HTML plus CSS. Writing this form, HTML. Giving this colors. CSS is basically your styling, what colors you want to give, what is the size of the font, right? Log into your Splunk account, how is it bold, right? This text is different from this text. Correct? How is it bold? How this particular text, this piece of text sign up is blue, and how, why is it showing when I hover a hand link, right? Why are this is an image again, your structure of a web page. Correct? This is HTML, CSS. So what is JavaScript then? JavaScript is basically interactivity. What happens when you click on one of the buttons? What happens when you click on the sign up? If you see here, I inspect this web page. Correct? I go to network tab, clear this off, and when I click on sign up, what happens? A new sign up page opens up, right? So when you click on something, the URL changed, and there are few network calls which happened, which reloaded the page and gave you a new form. Correct? So the interactivity of the user with the UI is JavaScript. Now moving on, the second layer of full stack is basically the backend, the server side. I'm not sure if you are, if you, I'm hoping that all of you are aware of this backend, not all of the backend technologies, but at least one or two of them. Because every one of us have this basic technologies while back in college, right? Even if we doesn't belong to computer science, there used to be a C++ or Java in our first year. Yeah, that is a different case. We didn't take it seriously and we didn't study it at that time. But every college, even if every college and every course would have Java and C++. This is the basic, this is one of the mandatory subjects in semester 1, data structures in semester 1, and C++ or Java in third year, right? So I'm not sure how many of you are aware of the backend technologies. But to give you an explanation of what backend technologies is, understand it this way. You have front end, you take details of the user who's trying to create a Splunk account, and you create your account. What do you think happens when you create your account? How does, so just forget about Splunk. Let's take an example of your Instagram. So when you you I don't want to use a lot of jargons, so we would keep it very simple. So when the assuming all of you have an Instagram account or a Facebook account, and you don't have your Gmail logged in, what do? You have to create sign up like this manually, correct? You will manually sign up to that platforms. When you create your account over there and you keep scrolling, you have data, you have your data with the interests you follow, right? Initially it asks what are your interests, like technology or cars or mobiles, your interests it asks, and it gives you data in that form, right? So now you have logged out of Facebook. For the very next time, will you sign up or you log in? What do? Answer me. Any one of you. For the second time, you log into Facebook or you sign up to Facebook?
Login.
Log in. How do you think Facebook remembers your data? Remembers your login data, credentials, right? When you signed up, it has to store somewhere, correct? It will store somewhere. That is the reason it is asking for you to log in. So when you create your account, what happens is the entire data which is filled in the form is taken, and that data is exactly not stored the way we enter it. What happens? There would be a middle layer. Middle layer is basically your backend or server side layer. In this layer, when I hit on create account button here, there would be an API call. Assuming my backend is Node.js, because in MERN it will be Node.js. Node.js again is a JavaScript library, okay, which is used to build RESTful APIs. APIs is basically application programming interface. Uh, what do you call? How should I explain you APIs? Is okay. Um, you have some data, okay, take, assume you have some data. You have some data of 10 friends, their engineering life, their current age, and where do they live, their Aadhaar card, PAN card, not sensitive data. Let's take example of normal data which can be shared, right? You have those 10 fields or 10 people data. Now you want to share that data, okay? The data is in the form of objects, okay. Not objects. Objects would be very difficult for you people to understand. Assuming you have some data about your 10 friends, now you want to, like, give access to someone. There is another friend who is starting a business, and he's saying that I need people who can enroll into my business, or I want to expand my business through network. Can you give our friend's number? So what do? You give that data to him, right? You have to give access to that data. Similar is the case with API or backend server. Nalini, I'm sorry, this might be very basic for you, but I'm trying to cater everyone's needs, so please bear with me. Okay.
That's okay. Please carry.
Yeah. So this data which you gave access to your friend, right, should be available to him, not publicly. Same is the case with backend or server side. Backend is basically having some data with it, and now frontend needs that data. So frontend asks the data to the backend, backend sends the data to the frontend. It's That's the reason it's frontend and backend, right? So now he what does he do? The person who asks the data, he takes the data and he has to save it somewhere, right? If the person initially who had the information about 10 friends had it saved on somewhere, assuming he saved it in notes, in mobile phone, or somewhere in the paper, right? That is a storage, correct? Storage of the information. In reality, in real world, we have databases to store that. Okay. Here the third section for full stack is data storage. Okay. Where our data is stored. So when I create my account, all of these details, there would be a table in my database which says users, because these are users, right? And users will have an email, password, first name, last name, and the job title and a phone number. So when I'm trying to log in, well, assuming I created an account in Splunk, now when I because I created an account and Splunk stored my data into their database, and now when I try to log in with the same credentials which I gave while creating an account and log in, what do you think it does? Why is it allowing you to successfully log in? Why?
Credentials are
Any
stored in databases we given current.
Correct. We just now created our account and our details are already stored into the database. So when I click on login, there would be an API call happening. API is again asking for data. API call happening to backend server, which is checking whether the username with this particular user, with this particular FHGGVH and a password combination is already registered and it is available. There is a row available in our database or not. When the API returns a true value, you will be able to see the dashboard of the Splunk, right? That is how it happens on Facebook or Instagram or any other app you use, which is a login based app. There are many other advanced ways of login to applications these days, such as you people have seen we took an example of where we were not logged into Gmail. Now assuming all of us is logged into Gmail, that's a basic necessity to even create any account, right? So now even if you don't create an account on Facebook, if you have Gmail and you say login with Gmail, it won't ask you any credentials. Correct? It will simply log in to you with the credentials you have used when when you created your Gmail account for the very first time. Have you people ever seen this? We see it every now and then on our whenever we try to download and install an application. Correct? Many applications, any application you download these days, it doesn't ask you to manually sign up an account. It just says if you have already a Gmail account, log in with it. Am I right?
Yeah.
This is very basic. This is not even technology. We are not even talking about technology. We are just talking about what we have been using this far, and we are trying to relate it with modern development. Okay. So in backend development, there are n number of technologies available the way we had it on front end. Major backend or server side technologies are Java, C++, Microsoft .NET, and Python. But we are going to use Node.js because the entire idea of using MERN stack is the developer already knows JavaScript because he is building front end. So why to bring another technology such as Java or Python to build our backend? Why not use the same JavaScript and build our backend also? So that's why Node.js again a JavaScript library to build our backend application. Now, coming to databases, as we already know by the name itself, database is basically storing some data. The data can be of different types, relational databases and non relational databases. Basically, relational database is such as data which have relation between them, such as a company having an employee having a PF account, employee having leave time allowance. These are all related. So the tables will have relations with each other, right? But non SQL databases are the data which is not interrelated and it is not in the form of data always. There might be documents, there might be chats. One thing for you people, just Google and see later how does the chats of our WhatsApp is saved. Okay, you will get an idea of different types of SQL. Okay, so this is basically the databases, which is like an box which stores our data. Okay, and now the fourth section, which is actually not part of this development, but let's talk a bit about it. Have you ever heard of cloud? This is very normal for us to hear of because we are using Drive, Google Drive. Every one of us use Google Drive, right? What do we do with Google Drive? Why do we use Google Drive? Any one of you? You people can answer. These are very basic things and normal things which we use in day to day basis. Why do we use Google Drive? Anyone? No one uses Google Drive here.
Try to save the data files, any pixel and all these things.
Sorry, Ravi, your voice is very low. Can you come once again, please?
Yeah, actually the drive concept is to store the photos, emails, Google Box,
Correct.
all those things. Yeah.
Very good. Basically, as Ravi said, the drive is basically to save our data, photos, videos, or any other important documents. Why do we already have saved it on our local data such as mobile phone, right? But what do we fear that this is an important precious memory of my life, assuming that you people have graduated from college, that is an like precious memory, and you want to save it, you do not want to lose it. What do? You upload those images to the drive, correct? Similarly, all of the applications which are there, Instagram or Facebook, what do you think? They are on single system? They are on one local computer? No, right? They are on multiple servers. They are on multiple instances. That is called as cloud, storing our data. Not just data. In Drive, we store datas, but in technology, cloud is something where we store our applications, from where we can access our applications. AWS is a cloud. Everyone we know Amazon, we buy on Amazon every now and then. Amazon itself is hosted on AWS. AWS is a service from Amazon wherein our application is hosted. There are multiple clouds available out there. If we get time, we will discuss bit about AWS in the course also. Moving to the next slide, I already discussed about this, but there's only one thing missing which I have not talked about is out of MERN. So M stands for MongoDB, which is a database, SQL, NoSQL database, and Express.js. We haven't talked about it. We'll talk it. We'll talk about this in a bit. React, I've already talked, is a JavaScript library to build front-end applications. Node.js, a backend server or a server-side technologies to handle difficult tasks coming from the backend, right? Express. What is Express? Express is basically we can use Node.js as a backend server, but Node.js on its own doesn't have any routing or configuration. It's a plain HTTP create server. Every time you have to write a route, you have to write http.create server. Express is basically a wrapper around Node.js which gives us many additional features or functionalities, such as it brings its own routing. You do not have to create a server every time you create a route. You just have to use Express once and Express creates a route for you. The logging, error logging. Okay, error logging is basically you so when something goes wrong, you want to log errors, right? So that you read about an error and you fix that. So Express brings that capability of logging the errors to the system and to many other third party libraries which we attach to. So this is what MERN stands for. Everyone clear till now? Or any other, if there is anything which you people don't understand, please speak up. um, Sai, two Sais, Prasanna, Nalini, Ravi, please. Are we good till now? Do we have an understanding of what MERN is? Or if you people do not want to talk, just put a message in a chat. That's also fine. At least that gives me an idea of where we are. Just put a message here. Okay. Now we we almost covered about what is Monstack, the JavaScript libraries, and what do you people get out of this course. Have you people seen that a PPT where the detail of the course is shared with you? What all the basic concepts? Yeah, okay, that's fine. So I think we are good. This is what I will be teaching you. So I want to tell you about my teaching style. So, we won't be discussing a lot of things. Instead, we would be doing hands on. So, every one of you is expected to have a laptop or any other computer wherein you can have Visual Studio Code installed on machine, because talking is not how we would be learning this course. You have to do coding from day one. The structure of the course is simple. We would learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, create a sample project on HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then go for React. Once we have an understanding of React application, we would build Node.js application. Once we have built Node, we will connect React and Node. And then we'll have a dummy database wherein we'll have our data, and we will see how will we access the data from Node.js and update the data, delete the data. This is the basic structure of the course. Anyone having any questions about how the course would be, how would be going through, please speak up. Please, you can ask me questions.
Sarah, can you explain like a real-time projects in this course? Like any one or two?
Real time projects, Visualpath would provide it to you. Okay. But
Okay.
yeah, but I would be, whenever I teach, I don't take their projects. I have small projects with me, such as on HTML, such as on CSS, and such as on JavaScript. So we would be doing small projects on go in the live classes itself. Okay, one or two small projects. Like on
Okay.
the
What?
topics, I wouldn't call it as projects, but I would call it as exercises. Okay,
Okay.
if we are learning forms, we just saw that on Splunk there is a form. When we are creating HTML form, there would be multiple input fields. If you see, there is a text field here and there is a password. Both of the fields are different. In input, in email you can see the data you are providing, but in password you see it's hidden, right? So various type of form fields creation as an exercise in the live class itself. So
Like
that,
encrypted.
yeah, correct. So various different, if we are discussing about HTML forms, then we will create an exercise in the class itself to have a sign up form or to have a login form. If we are talking about HTML tables, we will see how from simple table creation to complex table creation in the class itself. So these will be exercises, but once we are good with the entire HTML, we would create one simple HTML project which will cover all of the concepts which we have previously discussed as exercises.
What about this Angular and React?
Yeah, as I initially said, Sai, only once you learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you will be able to do React. Okay, because React is just a sugar coating of basic HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, it's just a library. But
Okay.
under the hood, you have to know HTML, CSS, JavaScript to do front end. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir.
So first we will learn this and then we will create a React application. So every one of you must have a laptop. Without laptop, this course is not going to benefit you. And do not expect that only if you do exercises in the class you will be able to do front end development, because at the end of the day you all are paying money to Visualpath, right? And you want to become something at the end of the day. So everyone have to put efforts, not just in the class. You have to spend extra 1 or 2 hours every day to learn about what we did. And if you come up with any problems while you were researching in the next class, you can ask me. This is the support I can provide you, because I want you to learn development. And this course is not going to be a just verbal discussion. This is going to be a hands-on coding. That I can tell you.
One more thing, sir. We will only the MongoDB, only the non-SQL database we have to learn, or any other like Postgres.
See, Sai, um the the core is same. Core
Mm-hmm.
in the sense, if you learn the basics of databases, SQL. Okay, if you learn what SQL is, how to write a select query, how to update the data in a table, how to retrieve the data from a table, if you learn basic queries, right, you will be able to understand any database. Such as if you learn JavaScript, you will be able to write any framework such as Angular, Next, Vue.js, any other thing. So basics of SQL is enough to work on MongoDB. Only the change would be how we create tables over there. The only difference would be the table creation.
Okay.
You people don't have any questions? Prasanna, Sai, Datta Sai? No, not Datta Sai. Sai and Prasanna. If you do not talk, how would I understand? If you do not tell me why are you here, what are you trying to learn, how will I help you, Prasanna and Sai? Okay. I guess that's all for the demo. If you people have any other concerns, you can reach out to Visual Path and they'll get back to me and I'll be answering your questions if there is any confusion or concern about the course. Okay? Is that okay? Nalini, Dattasai,
Yeah, sir.
okay? Okay. Let's meet in the next class. Till then, have a good day. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Have a break.